But yeah, in my area, life's not too bad. You know, we do have some things to do, but I mostly sit here and I also breathe. Big part of my day is breathing and eating as well. We survive on it. Yo! So it's come to my attention that 50% of the people who find their way to my video are not subscribed. So please do me a favor, support the channel and go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, subscribe. What's up, dude? How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good.
What do you want for Christmas? Tell Santa, we're here.
Okay, so it's a Nixie clock that I'm waiting for currently.
You're waiting for a clock? Don't you have one on your phone?
I do have a clock.
Wait, so what's this clock
It's a Nixie clock. It's a vintage clock.
Like a special clock? Does it tell time better, or is it just like an aesthetic?
No.
How do I spell this? I want to pull it up.
They're not necessarily like cool because of their brand.
This looks like something I would fashion in Fallout.
Yeah, that's sick, right? I'm waiting for that to arrive.
Okay, so Christmas is almost good then. It's almost been worthwhile. I almost got the thing I want.
Yeah.
Good.
What do you want? What do
I want?
Christmas?
I want a happy, thriving community of people who come together to make each other better. That's what I want. And you know what? I think we're close. What then are we calling in for? I doubt it was about the Nixie clock. How can I help you as Santa today?
Relationships.
Let's hear it.
Originally, I feel like it doesn't seem like men are correctly trying to find a partner, but instead trying to find something that is physically attractive to them.
Okay, so what's your experience then thus far? What's the personal lamentation? It's like, this is your observation of men?
Yeah, I've been getting wrecked.
What does that mean?
I guess none of the men that I've been interacting with have been emotionally connected to me.
Interesting. And so you feel as though you're being like...
Only physically, yeah.
Oh, I understand that. I think that that's actually remarkable. Are they being forthright with their intentions, or are you like... are you being forthright with your intentions?
Neither. I don't know. Neither I have.
So you're both just not talking about what you want,
not...
and then you guys like have sex, and then eventually you're like, all right, so later? And no one's saying anything about whether or not they're happy with it, or if they want more or anything?
Yeah.
Do you think that might also be like...
So I know my issue. I know my issue.
Why do you think you're not being honest?
Because I don't want to admit my faults.
What do you mean? What's a fault in wanting a relationship, though?
Probably that I am sharing a 2-bedroom apartment with my brother. That could be one of the faults.
That's not wrong. You both have your own bedroom. That's normal. It's just 2 people living together. Are they like, you're a loser? Like, is that what's happening?
No.
Okay,
no,
I can tell you as a guy, I would not give a fuck. I'm 28. I would not care if the person I was seeing lived with their brother at all. That's like totally fucking normal to me. So unless it's like massively frowned upon, that might be more of a personal insecurity than a real one. You know, it might be something that you're at odds with than like the world at large. You know what I mean? Is that the actual reason why you aren't bringing people like home, or like trying to, because like you not bringing people home also doesn't preclude you going on a date with someone.
I mean, there's
you know
nothing else.
Are you guys going on dates, or are you just like meeting people on Tinder? I mean, like, how's this working?
I don't really date much. I just play video games.
Well, you know, you're already kind of doing the right thing then. Generally speaking, what I'd say is that the context you meet someone in is likely the context they'll like belong to you in. Like if you meet someone out in the world doing something, you guys will probably develop relationships around those things. My prediction is if you aren't being forthright, then it likely has more to do with some kind of internalized shame about your present lifestyle. In the event that you like really don't like how you're living, you have to either 1, change it, or 2, recognize that you may like how you're living, you just don't like how you think other people will feel about it. Which one would that be?
Probably how other people would feel about it.
You love your present life's circumstance and how you spend your time and who you spend it with. You just don't think other people are gonna like it.
Yeah.
Do you want to know what I would say to this, like any day for anyone ever, is that like you have to lead with like the most authentic vision of you, you know? Like you present the most authentic package you possibly can, because it will be essentially self-filtering. The last thing you want to do is construct this facade to appeal to a broader audience that isn't true to who you are. You'd rather attract people on the basis of who it is you really are, you know? Like,
on the norm of
like,
existence.
of course, because like you can't keep that facade up forever, dude. Like I've tried to do that when I was younger. Like I want to be this person that I think this person wants, and so I would like compromise on things that were true to me, or things that I really wanted to be or wanted to do to make someone else happy. And all of those relationships ate shit, like all of them.
People ask me out for dates because I did speak.
Wait, then
because I did play games, and I said no.
Because you don't want them to come home and see your brother playing WoW?
Yeah, maybe.
No, WoW, first of all, WoW's cool. Second off, it seems like you already have like hobbies that dudes are generally like down to engage with. Like you have certain points of connection. If you feel like people aren't down for like a long-term emotional bond or whatever, just like what I do typically is if I go on a good date and I really like being with that person, I'll communicate that I like hanging out with them and I'd like to keep doing it. It doesn't mean you have to like nullify anything, but just be like, yo, are you interested in seeing where this goes? And if they're like, yeah, that's a good place to start. But communicating your intent is like, dude, that's like 90% of the battle. Like, if you don't tell people what you want or what you're looking for, they're playing a guessing game, man. Like, they are lost at sea. Do you have like outdoor hobbies, like things you do out in the world?
No.
You don't have anything that you like that's not on the internet?
I mean, art is the only one.
Dude, you could go to galleries. You could take like fun like painting classes and shit. I mean, the best way to meet people you actually connect with is to like get out in the world and do the things you like. And if you love playing CS, dude, meeting someone in that capacity would work, but you kind of have to vet them, you know, for like being like generally like adult. Like, a lot of my close friends I've met on the internet, you know? A lot of people I still keep in touch with, I met like playing games in like the 9th grade. An online relationship's entirely valid. However, it does have to have IRL, like in-person component.
Physical, yeah.
Of course, or it's not going to be like holistically fulfilling.
Thank
Well,
you.
do you have any other questions on life, belonging,
Not really? No.
Santa?
I think I'm good.
All right,
Santa?
Anka. Well, Anka, we appreciate your
good.
time then. Jack, you're on the air, my guy. How are we doing today?
I'm not too bad. What about you?
I'm not too bad, man. Just
Yeah,
basking in holiday cheer. What do we call it import today? What's on our mind?
All right. So, what I would like for Christmas is I want the motivation to start doing like gym shit, but it's a combination of like not having the motivation to start and the money it costs to eat right in England at the moment.
The elves don't make that, dude. You're gonna have to kind of go. I don't. I'm fucking with you.
I don't know, man.
So look. Here's what I'd say.
Mario Kart.
It's expensive to eat healthy in England for what reason exactly?
There's a whole cost of living thing going on. So like, fresh meat and stuff is quite expensive. It's so much cheaper to just buy dog shit, terrible for you food. It's like £5 or £6 for like a good pack of chicken breast, right? For example. Whereas for £6, I can get 2 meals that I can throw in the oven, and it will feed me for like a day. And like 1 meal would cost me at least double what that would cost.
I recommend eating. So one of the cheapest things you can get pound for pound is whey protein. Grams of protein per dollar spent is one of the highest yields you can get. Same thing with egg whites, or just eggs in general, are all really cheap and something I recommend wholeheartedly. It's a great way of getting around the general expense of it. I personally eat a lot of that because meat does get expensive regardless of where you live, even though it is much cheaper in the US, mind you. Just reduce your overall protein intake, man. Like, try to kind of guesstimate your lean body mass. Like, if you can guesstimate via an online calculator or something your total like lean body mass percentage, just try to go like 0.8 grams per pound is really like the minimum I'm cool with as a trainer. Go on the low side and fill yourself up with carbohydrates, which are also muscle sparing and equally beneficial in my opinion. When it comes to the motivation, dude, I mean, like, think one about like what your actual goal is, because I think like the goal shouldn't necessarily to be more aesthetic or prettier to look at, because like I'll tell you, that's like an infinite treadmill that you'll never get off of. It just isn't. Like, it doesn't matter how far along you are, you'll always want to look a little better. And if that's your sole motivation, I think that you'll just eventually say fuck this. A lot of people do. However, it's also a nice motivation for people to start. But if that's not really it, dude, the real thing is that you have to think of it more as something that I think catalyzes all other parts of your life. A lot of why I'm able to stick with fitness has nothing to do with like physical appearance or even really physical health. It's more of like a holistic wellness. Like, I feel more capable, and I feel like I have like this like neurochemical cascade required to do other things better. Like, I'm better at my job. I'm more engaged with people in my life because I'm training regularly, and in turn, like, I'm creating this sort of reward circuitry that I think is really important to stimulate in ways that aren't subjective. A lot of your life is kind of like your sense of I'm doing my life well is outsourced to like, did I get a raise? Did someone say I did a good job? So on and so forth. Like, you know, lifting a weight is lifting a weight. If you add 5 pounds to it, you added 5 pounds to it. No one can be like, well, not really. That's a 5-pound jump, you know? That's a massive, massive, massive boon to me, and it keeps me generally stable. So that's why I'd recommend it personally. What would your personal motivation be, man?
I want to lose weight. I've always been a big guy. Like, I've always been a slightly, I don't know. I don't know if like fatter is the word, but I mean, like, I've always been a slightly fatter guy. I was a fat kid. I was a heavy baby that grew into a
just
fat
a
kid.
Big old baby.
That's now like a pretty big fucking teenager, like 19. So I want to lose the weight. I want to get to a more neutral weight and things like that.
So dude, this is what I'll say, is that the single best motivation is results. So what I recommend to people is to start really small, because you're probably at a place where any input is going to evoke change in yourself. So like, maybe rather than even changing your diet entirely, even though I do recommend you start making changes and focusing on getting that protein intake in, focus on going on like a 10-minute walk every day for the next couple weeks. Like, really small added motion, as long as you don't change your total food intake, is going to radically change your body over time, because you're probably pretty static right now. Any amount of movement is going to change that for you.
That's the thing that kind of confuses me though. Like every 2 or 3 days, I'm walking like 2 and 3 miles a day, and I don't, you know what I mean? That's why I sort of came for the motivation thing, because I always hear that from people where it's like, oh, if you just walk a little bit, you know what I mean?
Well, 2 to 3 miles isn't exactly a small walk. Like, it sounds like, are you consistent every 2 days you go on a 2 to 3 mile walk?
It's not like consistently every 2 to 3 days, but like I go to my grandparents quite a lot to help them with stuff. So that's like it's like a mile and a half there, mile and a half back. And if I call into town to do some shopping in the meantime, it's like it extends that a little bit. It's pretty consistent because I started off small, just doing the shopping stuff, and then I moved on to doing that. And so
the big thing then is probably going to be assessing, because a lot of times when we elevate our output, we get hungrier, and so we elevate our intake, you know, even if it's in small ways. Because a lot of times we're talking about like pretty razor thin margins, like 100 calories or something. If you are 100 calories more output than you are input, you're going to start burning fat. You know what I mean? And so even you choosing to like augment the amount of food you're eating to make up for it is going to essentially nullify it. It doesn't mean that your heart isn't going to be healthier or that you're not going to feel better because you're moving, but it's not going to help you lose the weight. So one of the best things to start looking at is, one, how can I start tracking my macros more efficiently, right? So like downloading MyFitnessPal and getting a food scale will help you get a better sense of like, this is how many calories is in this serving of food, so on and so forth. And then trying to incorporate whey protein into like 3 or 4 of your meals, or egg whites or something to that extent will help amplify the total protein yield in a way that I think is super duper helpful. You don't have to change your life entirely. You can still eat foods that you enjoy. Just try to keep the actual portions measured so that you're still staying in your allotted calorie range.
Yeah.
Once you figure that out, dude, it starts to become habituated, and these small walks actually start paying off because you're not adding additional food on and making it so that, like, while you are improving your health by doing it, you're not necessarily improving it to the degree that you could. And so that's a really, really important thing. What's your general health like outside of that?
It's not great because I've not been to a specific doctor for it because I'm still waiting on the referral, but I've had COVID 3 times and my overall lung health is fucked because of it. I was alright before, but now, like, if I go up the stairs too quickly, I have a coughing fit because my lungs are completely fucked. So that's what I'm mostly worried about, because obviously that will probably affect like exercise things and stuff like that. So that's most of my worries.
So COVID might affect your total health, obviously, but with low-intensity, steady-state exercise, you shouldn't be relying too much on your lung capacity to really move. So while it is definitely a thing that you will feel a little more fatigued, your ability to move at a low intensity and like keep that output up is still entirely within your control, and it's something I still recommend wholeheartedly. Like, I know it might feel a little less immediately rewarding or gratifying, but it's still, to me, absolutely indispensable to like keep on the walks, because you're not going to improve your lung health by not using them. You know, it's just a matter of making sure you weren't pushing your body to the point of breaking.
Absolutely, yeah.
But like, motivation's a weird and fickle thing. The thing that I say more than anything is like, more motivation will come from like positive momentum than will anything else. So now it's about, how do I trick myself into starting to do the dumb thing every day? Those days you go to your grandparents' house, treat that as an additional thing, but try to go on a 10-minute walk every day and stay consistent with it. Do it first thing when you wake up, like take like a cup of coffee or tea or whatever and go on a walk around your area and come back. Do 10-15 minutes of that. And then you can gradually elevate a couple minutes every 2 weeks or something, until maybe you're doing like a 30-minute walk. That to me is the best way to go about kind of like assimilating yourself to new work efforts and like really feeling at home in them. Well, hell yeah, dude. Well, of course, dude. Absolutely. I will catch you soon. Let me know how everything goes. And Godspeed, man. Merry Christmas.